expressions of friendship, admiration. I don't know what to say. I can only assume that they refer to someone I've yet to meet. Someone much farther away from me than you in this room. I can remember things that I've done. I remember particularly the heartless advice I gave to Susan Marisol to have her children take up child labor. That I remember. And I remember the speeding Jenny. But how should I say it? I'm grateful for all of you having come here. I'm grateful, above all, to the Japanese people I've known, those I haven't known, to the Japanese government for giving me everything that a government could give anybody. I'm profoundly grateful. I've been fantastically lucky in every way. When I began the study of Japanese, it was a very special and strange field. It didn't seem like a possible life work for anybody. And the interest in Japanese was virtually zero. I shouldn't say this as if I had some sort of appreciation. I knew in advance that Japan was going to be a major power. I certainly didn't. My first contact with Japanese literature came when I visited, as I did frequently, the bookstore in the ground floor of the Hotel Astor in Times Square. The bookshop sold remained, not old books, but different books that hadn't sold for sufficient copies. And there I saw 2 volumes, and I looked at the price was something like 49 cents for both of them. And I thought, that's a bargain. And the book was called The Tale of Genji. I had never heard of The Tale of Genji. I thought I had a very good education. And I was sold on the idea of the great books, and had studied with great pleasure and many discoveries the works of Western philosophy from the time of the Greeks, of literature, and so on, but I had never once heard the Tale of Genji. I took the book home thinking I would read it, and I did. This was 1940. 1940 was a terrible year. It was one of the worst years mankind's ever had. In 1940, the German armies occupied Norway, Holland, Belgium, most of France. In that year, the Battle of Britain began, nightly bombing of London. The massacre of it, wiping out of cities like Coventry. I thought that was quite clear that next country would be America. That nothing could possibly stop the Germans. I was terrified by this idea. To read the newspapers was a nightmarish experience. So I read The Tale of Genji. The Tale of Genji were people are human beings, not like the people I knew. They spoke in poetry because poetry was more beautiful than prose. Their whole life was devoted not to getting a better position in some ministerial office, but to improving making their lives more beautiful and making the lives of other people, indirectly or directly, more beautiful too. This had a powerful effect on me, and has governed ever since my appreciation of Japan. I'm obviously quite familiar with the unbeautiful sides of Japan too. I don't ignore them. But the beauty of Japan is what particularly has attracted me, and among other, and all the different manifestation of beauty is the beauty found in literature. Literature which constantly gives me pleasure. Just last week, I was reading with students the no play, No No Mia. The end of No No Mia is just so beautiful that I could hardly speak. It's not the first time I've read it. It's something I know very well, but it is so incredibly beautiful. And I thought, they must understand it too. They students in the class, they're a bright class, 11 people, which is a vast number of people for a class of mine, were there. And I wanted to make sure that they felt this, that they could appreciate the beauty that is found there. So I've been fantastically lucky in finding a field which is made for me. Japanese sometimes wonder. Yesterday, a television man, NHK man, came in. He said, well, "Why don't you like Japan so much?" I couldn't think of a better answer than this, which is you say you meet somebody, and he says he's fallen in love with a certain woman. You see the woman, and what do you say to this man? I don't think much of her. I think there are much more beautiful women in the world. She doesn't seem all that educated. No, of course you don't do that. And the man himself believes in it. And it's the business of this man, if he cares at all, to make you see what is in that woman that would attract him or anybody else. But that's a facetious example, perhaps. But I must say that I've enjoyed my work all the time. I enjoy what I do. Yes, I retired in 1972, but they couldn't keep me from teaching. And I regret that this time I really mean it. I will probably go and live in Japan for the rest of my life. I have no hatred of New York. I like New York. Love the Metropolitan Opera. But I feel peculiarly attached to the Japanese. I feel happier there than anywhere else in the world. And I want to stay there in the remaining years of my life, whatever they may be. If you come to Japan, look me up. I'm always glad to see old friends. And I'm sure you must have got that from what people said. I don't forget my old students, particularly the ones who've taken advanced classes with me. And I want very much to be in touch with them. I worry about them when I don't hear from them. And I'm very happy, very, very happy to be here today. Thank you all.